We all know that marshmallow experiment where you get a marshmallow now and you wait 15 minutes and you get another marshmallow, delayed gratification, blah, 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 whatever the fuck. But the real question is, how long are you willing to wait? And are you willing to risk waiting for nothing? Because ultimately, that's the game we're playing right now, bro. We all have these big goals and dreams. And honestly, the fact that we're so sure that we're going to accomplish those dreams are fed to us by content creators like myself, your parents, your siblings, or your uplifting association. What sucks about all of this is that not all of us are going to make it, bro. And not many of us will actually spend the necessary time needed to create desired results. And I don't mean spending the time as in like you're wasting time. I mean, you're not even doing the right thing. Like some of us aren't even doing the right things to get what we want out of life. And it honestly makes me kind of sad because it could be me as well. I mean, like, bro, YouTube may be the wrong choice. Selling beats on Instagram may be the wrong choice. Setting aside some time, I set aside some time to learn how to code and build websites because I later want to serve the music industry in a certain way. All that shit may be the wrong choice. But for me, that's what makes the wait that much more worth it. You have to be so motivated and intentional to make sure that you're doing the right things, because if you're doing the wrong things for 15 years, then bro, you're going to end up with no results at all. And honestly, bro, I can't let that be you. And that's not going to be me. 100%, that's not going to be me. So you need to make sure that you take time out of your day to look at your goals and look what you're doing on a daily basis and just run down the road before you ran it down. And that ways you can do that is by seeing other people who walk that path, etc. And see, is the results going to be what you want? That's how you figure out if you're doing the right thing. But besides the point, you should be willing to wait 10 to 15 years, even if nothing will change. And I don't mean waiting around for opportunity like the majority of society does. I mean waiting for your time to shine, waiting for your product to kick off, or waiting for you to make that first 100K sale. Be willing to wait, but never be willing to wait doing nothing. And I think that's what makes a man dangerous. Not one that's just willing to think 10 years ahead or 15 years ahead, but one who's actually willing to sacrifice 10 years and not getting any results. Because you're not, that's the thing, it's going to be that much more motivating. It's going to create that much more urgency, because no man who's hungry for the goals and hungry for results is going to wait around doing nothing. We're going to wait around for opportunity like a little bitch. But in order to unlock this way of thinking, we need to be able to tap into one skill, and that skill is patience. We all know this by now, bro. Too many people want things right there and then. It's the instant gratification, it's the instant results, it's the highlight reel of social media, whatever the fuck it may be. People are just impatient. It's really disheartening to watch, bro, because it honestly paralyzes people and it stops them from actually really doing what they can do with their lives. And then in the back of their heads, it creates so much self-deprecation. For example, I was helping my little sister at the local YMCA. I was helping her play basketball. She's on the team and she wants to learn some new things. And while we were training, bro, there were some things that happened that almost made me cry. The main factor was that she is so afraid to fail at the simplest things. Like, bro, I would demonstrate a move, and then she would try the move, but with hesitation after hesitation after hesitation, she didn't move an inch. She was trying to get it perfect like every fucking time. Like, yeah, I understand it's basketball. You know, you have to kind of get the footing of things, and it takes a little bit of practice. But then she proceeded to look at me do the move and say, wow, every time I look at you, I can see how much I suck at basketball. Everyone may say that it's not that deep, but in reality, I just think your thinking is not that deep, bro. And I had to ask, why is she doubting herself when I'm merely just demonstrating? I'm not flexing on her. I'm not breaking her ankles, bro. I'm just demonstrating. Why is she doubting herself? All those questions I just had to formulate and just kind of think, okay, where the fuck does this come from? And honestly, I think it comes back to the device you're holding right now, or whatever void you're watching me through. We all know the highlight reels of social media, immediate results, and perfect execution. And it has done more harm than good, honestly, bro. It's done more than just affect the way you scroll, bro, because everyone's just scrolling mindlessly and you have to get your attention manipulated so you can stay on one fucking Instagram post. It's done more than that, bro. It's affected the way you live, and it's affected the way you learn. I can't stress how important it is to understand that the ones who are impatient just end up leaving the line. They leave the line. And the ones that leave the line, it simply means that you weren't willing to withstand the monotony, bro. And not willing to do that will just always leave you wondering if you would have got what you were waiting for. Never actually knowing for sure. Do you want that to be you? Do you want that to be you your whole life? I mean, you have some goals you want to accomplish. You want a dream body, but you opt out because it's getting harder. You opt out because you're not seeing immediate results. Once you do that, you're leaving the line. And you never know if you would have got what you were waiting for, bro. So just fucking withstand it and wait. It's not that difficult. The next thing I want to touch on is experimenting and solving your own problems. We all have problems in our lives that we're trying to fix, and I think the reason why most of them never actually get fixed is because you don't experiment on your own. Not only do you not apply the solutions you're so desperately trying to find, but you never actually are trying to come up with your own, and I don't understand this at all. Like, you can't go on YouTube to try to fix your social anxiety, fix your depression, or figure out what's wrong with your relationship. Yeah, you can gain insight, and honestly, I've left how-tos or tutorials, whatever the fuck you want to call them, but it always ties back to how I did it, and that simply just may not work for you. Like, you remember when you did science experiments in school and you were given all these instructions and you and your homeboys just kind of fucked around and did your own thing? Or you were trying to solve math problems. You solved the math problems in school, but you solved it the wrong way? Like, bro, there was times where I would do a math problem. I'd get the right answer the teacher was looking for, but then I'd get it incorrect because I didn't solve it the way it was solved. I mean, the way it was taught, my bad. Like, bro, what the fuck? It's stupid. But in a nutshell, those were all ways of experimenting on your own. And the good thing about life is that you don't have to follow such rules anymore, bro. You can find your own ways of doing things. Obviously, there's the rules of, don't break the fucking law, etc., etc. But in terms of improving your life and in terms of figuring out ways you want to navigate through problems or the ways you want to take guidance from other people, that's all your choice. And I think the real reason why people run to YouTube trying to find the quick fix to their problems is because they're not willing to wait to find solutions to their own problems, or they're just not willing to wait and see what works for them. You're always making your own tweaks to things that people teach you, so why not make your own way? Next thing I want to touch on is that monotony is a muscle. I recently got a 1-day suspension from my job for a lack of productivity, which is essentially true. Yeah, like, I kind of been slacking off. But here's what I say is that I'm a pretty productive guy. Like, I love fucking productivity and I like getting shit done. But when I have to work at something that doesn't equate to anything but a shitty paycheck and a loss of time, that's when I start to feel controlled. And when I start to feel controlled and I have to go by other people's standards in life, I never want to give my all. So that's part of the reason why I got written up, because of my mindset. But I ended up having a whole heart-to-heart with my boss, and he understands that I'm not prioritizing this shitty job. But in a nutshell, he kind of gave me this whole analogy, so to speak. He said, okay, I understand you have your businesses, you're doing what you're doing on the side, but the more that you let your work ethic slip in certain areas, the more it's going to slip in others. It's just creating those neurological pathways. And he's 100% right, because I've seen less sales in my beat business. I've consistently had shittier workouts. I've been making shittier beats. I've been slacking off on my diet. I've been slacking off kind of everywhere in life. I've been struggling to get out of bed. Not really struggling, but just taking a few extra minutes, like not having any urgency in my mornings, just kind of going about life and just slacking off. And it's because I'm letting my work ethic slip, and I'm creating laziness in another area, and it's transferring everywhere else. And he also said he'd rather shake my hand and see me leave the company with the success of my business taking me forward than him having to fire me and give me the boot. So I've came to the conclusion that I'm going to make that conversation a life-changing one. Now I'm going to treat the job as a training place for the monotony muscle, so to speak. Because honestly, everyone needs to build that muscle over time to create results in their lives. Like for me, obviously, for my beat business, I have to do a whole bunch of shit with the MP3 files, transfer them over, create easy digital downloads so people can download them and pay right there on the fucking website. I need to get a photographer, take a better picture for my headings and all that type of shit. Like, there's just a lot of tedious tasks that I need to do. And if I don't build the monotony muscle to withstand the mundane moments of my business or my life, then I don't think I'm ever going to push forward. And I'm just going to be another fucking mediocre motherfucker on this planet. And that's not going to happen. And honestly, I'm not going to put my goals on the line just because I can't push through some boring work, and I don't think that you should either. So just build that muscle, bro. Build it. The last thing I'll say is do not shortcut these shortcuts. In conclusion, bro, in the world we live in and what we have access to, it's truly incredible. And becoming financially stable, I say, is one of the simplest things nowadays. It's definitely not easy, but it's simple for sure. With all the tools like YouTube, courses, or just Google itself, you can literally build businesses that generate you cash, and you can get so much valuable information. And others had to go through a lot of shit to get the knowledge that we could just easily apply. So I don't know why so many people take this a step further, or they try to skip steps, bro. People always be skipping steps. Like, stop that shit, bro. Stop investing in stocks and crypto. Do what the stock and crypto investors did. Build riches first. Don't take steroids in the start. Do what the bodybuilders did. Build a solid physique first. And don't hop on stage and perform. Get good at it first. A lot of people skip steps to certain things, like especially with investing, bro. Maybe I'm just uneducated, bro, but you don't get rich investing. You stay rich investing. I don't see why people are employees investing in fucking stocks and shit. You don't have enough upfront capital to even get a return. So just fucking stop. You're playing the game backwards. But besides the point, love you. Start off tomorrow strong, G. Peace.